sides and get ready for all the action of the BBL Central Podcast.
Alrighty, it's that time of week again. We've got the BBL Central Podcast. We're here with all the usual crew. We're suffering through watching Stokes on one screen. Absolutely frustrate the shit out of us. Should we have line? Should we not have line? Would he help us get that last wicket? Look, we really need to get a breakthrough there, boys. How are we both? Anyone?
Yeah, I'm awesome, mate. It's good to be back, boys, after having a week off or 2 weeks off, whatever it was. I don't know. Too busy doing family stuff. Being that time of year, we're both school teachers and, got a bit on. But no, ready to get back into the swing of BBL Supercoach. Yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, let's get into it indeed. And how's your high-flying EPL going, Tim?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm still in and around the top end of the circle. So, sitting at 165th or something at the moment. I've had a couple of average rounds in a row, just holding on to players too long. The problem is with EPL, you just don't have the trades like you do in all other forms of Supercoach. So I tried to hold trades for a couple of rounds and it just didn't work for me. I dropped a fair bit. So went from 34, 36 or something now to 165 odds. So, yeah, anyway, still up there, so I won't complain and still got about 20 trades left or a bit over that or something and still 3 boosts. So, yeah, still a long season, long way to go. Handbrake's got to come on the top team sooner or later, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I'm still – I had a good week last week, but I'm still struggling, so I'm inside. I'm knocking on the door of the top 5%. So I've excelled my expectations to date. And Rossco, how are you going?
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Oh, mate, it's been what a day it's been. I got up this morning and I flicked on the WBBL today to see Elise Perry, go nuts again. She got lucky. She got caught on a no ball, and then she also got bowled, but the bail didn't come off and went on to make 111, which gave her 5,000 runs for the WBBL. And then so they posted 173, and it went down to the absolute literal wire. The Sixers, about 10 overs in, were absolutely cruising. And then when the strikers took the surge, they just went nuts and got 30 off their 2 overs of the surge, and then went down to the last over, and they needed 18 to win and looked like they were home, and Gardner got a wicket with a couple of balls left, and they ended up winning by 1 run in the end. Absolute classic game, mate. I was sitting there watching this going on. No, we've blown this chance, and because obviously if they'd lost, they weren't going to make the finals, but if they won, they finished second. So, well done to them. They're through. They play the winner of the Scorchers and the Stars, while the Hurricanes go straight through to the final on Saturday. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But, it was an absolute classic game. And then, the cricket today, just, good to see that England are actually digging in, having a crack, because I'll tell you what, Stokes and Will Jackson batted really well today. Oh, Stokes is such a good player. He really is. He's just, mate, he's just, I don't know, something about him. He just gets out there and does the job. And, yeah, look, hopefully we can get a wicket or 2 later tonight when it gets dark under the lights with the pink ball. But, no, it's good to see they've at least had a crack and hanging in there. But we desperately need a wicket sometime soon. I really don't know about you guys, but I don't think we want to be chasing more than about 150, 200. It's going to make it very tough on that pitch on day 5.
That was going to be my next question. What do you guys reckon is a competitive total? Anything north of 150? Or is that too easy for us to chase?
Well, depends on how many overs and stuff too that they've got to get the runs as well. I mean, I feel like England, they're probably going to want a result. They're not going to probably want to draw. So it just depends on how long they bat for as well. I think 150 will be a tough chase. It doesn't seem like a lot, but we've seen it before. And it also depends on how England bowl too, because they were pretty poor in the second innings at that test in Perth.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to take there to. It's the wicket's looking pretty flat, isn't it? Like, depends depends what this storm might do that they're expecting later on too. That might bring a bit of moisture into it, and with a bit of a swing to the ball, we might be able to clean them up pretty quickly. That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and there is a few cracks starting to appear too. So, as Tim said, do they regret not playing Nathan Lyon now? I don't know. It's a hard one. You just don't know if it would have made much difference or not. Nisa's come in and he's, to replace him, and then he's done a fantastic job. So it's hard to say, to be honest with you, whether it would have made any difference or not, really. Nisa's taken a couple of really good wickets in this innings, couple of good caught and bowled, so it looked really good. So, as is bowling too, but as Brad said, I think the pitch is definitely starting to flatten out a little bit, but definitely wouldn't want to be chasing any more than 150, 200.
Is storm coming?
The weather's on its way, but it's all very spread out. So let's wait and see.
Oh, shit. I've got bing and bangers going everywhere. We've got a lot of people coming and joining us, so that's excellent. Actually, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. I'll get to the questions and the shout-outs in a couple of minutes. 7 days to go, boys. We're here for BBL Supercoach. 7 friggin' days to go. How cool is that?
Yeehaw!
We'll get straight into our latest segment. Here we go.
And now it's time for news from around the grounds with Rossco.
Oh, dear.
Oh, you're looking better every day, Rossco.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, some of this stuff that they're coming up now with AI is unbelievable. Some of these videos and other stuff like that. Like, honestly, you'll know it's all shit, but you still sit there and watch it all and think it's hilarious. All right, let's get stuck into some BBL news. So, on the injury front, we've got Mark Steckety has been ruled out for the season for the Stars. We've got Spencer Johnson ruled out for the season for the Heat. Big loss for them.
Ouch.
Matt Kuhneman has a side strain we're just waiting on scans to see how long he's going to be out for, if he is. And Sean Abbott, we're still waiting on some news on his hamstring injury as well. Hopefully he's going to be good to go for round 1. So we should know, I believe Honeyball's chasing that up. So hopefully next day or two, we should have some more information on him. Also on the import news, Pakistan have just been scheduled 3 T20 games now during the BBL season. If the players are selected, they'll leave around about rounds 4 to 5 and potentially return for the finals. If Harris Ralph is picked, which I'm guessing he will be, it will affect him for his second double, which is round 5. So take that into account. I think, I don't hate the trade of bringing him in for one double. We all seen he's a proven gun, but just make sure that's obviously something to take into account, that you probably will have to trade him out after that first double as well. So it won't affect anyone else because the guys like Babar Azam and these other guys have already had their doubles, so they're all good to go. And so that should be all fine. Same with Mohammed Rizan and a couple others too. It won't affect them either. There's a Thunder import in there as well that he'll be good to go to play his double. And then just some weekend scores from around the state. Obviously, I don't know if you've seen this. Nathan McSweeney scored 226 not out for Australia A versus England Lions. Wes Agar had a great game as well. Got 4 for 55 and 5 for 48. Alex Ross, 58 off 40. Thomas Kelly, who we've had on the pod before, 102 off 76. Ollie Davies, 83 off 40. And Max Bryant, 89 off 73. So that's all the news for this week for our BBL.
Beautiful. Some of that's going to be real relevant, but we'll talk about some of that relevant stuff in the Stars, because today we are going to be going over the Stars and having a look at what they've because we believe there's some relevance there. You need to stash a few stars, possibly on your bench. It'll make your round 3 double a lot easier for you to get some numbers for. But in order for us to consider that, we better have a look. You know what time it is, Tim?
Did I hear someone mention the draw?
Did I hear somebody mention the draw? So, Tim, what's the Stars? What's the draw here? What are we looking at?
That bloke's a good-looking rooster, isn't he? Yeah, thank God for makes me look better. Yeah, look, absolutely. As I'm trying to bring up my my document, the internet's not working real flashy this afternoon at home. But yeah, look, as for the Stars, they've got two sort of mid-season doubles. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. So it's you've done my job for me. Yeah, look, the Stars are a nice, easy draw at the start of the season. So they've got two singles, then they go a double. They have a bye, and then they've got another double. So that's going to be a little bit tricky to navigate your way around the fact that they've got a double, then a bye, then a double. So if you've got 4 players, let's say in a perfect world, 4 players for round 3 double, you may want to possibly drop 1, maybe 2 for round 4 with the when they have their season bye, and then bring 2 guys straight back in again for round 5. So it's round 3 double, 4 bye, round 5 double, and then singles for the rest of the season. So the plus is if you pick up Stars players in round 5, you can hold them for the rest of the season and not worry too much about it after that. So I'm sure we'll talk about it, but you're looking at guys like Maxi, possibly Stoinis, depending on whether or not he can hit some form. But yeah, those are sort of the 2 main stars that you're probably targeting. If you want someone like a Joe Clark to rotate through your keeper role, he's probably a pretty handy guy to have as well. I think priced at about 65K or something for the kickoff of the season.
Just an early question there. We might as well hit him because he's hitting us. G'day, Edward Westcott. G'day, Eddie. How you going there, man? Really good for you to join us. Love it. He wants to know the prediction for the Melbourne Stars. Yeah. My prediction isn't flash. I hate to tell you. Particularly with Steckity now gone, their bowling is a big problem. Yes, they've got Swepson, but they've only got Harris Ralph for 1 double. I'm going to be all over Harris Ralph. Peter Siddle will have to bowl a lot of overs. Can the old dude who eats nothing but celery still stick it? I don't know about that. Yeah, so my ladder prediction, I think it's down towards the bottom end. I'm really sorry about that. Ross?
They would have been. I know it's obviously very hard. This happened before Steckity was ruled out for the season. But geez, AJ Ty would have been a handy pickup for them. I know he went to the Gades and was offered a contract with them. But geez, they could have used him. Even the Heat with Spencer Johnson going out could have used him too. But look, Stars have always been one of those teams that are always predicted to do really well. Always just. Because their team's always stacked, but yeah, I don't know. Like they've got the talent there. They really have got a lot of talent, but they just never seem to be able to deliver the results when they need to. You look at a team with Stoinis and Maxi, and they should do really well. They really should. Harris Ralph. Add a couple other guys in there as well. They've got a pretty good team, but yeah, look, I'll probably have them down probably 6th or 7th for me. I reckon. That's my prediction.
And you got any thoughts on the Stars? Of just having a quick look there of what we're spoken about, Tim?
No, I think somewhere pretty similar, boys. I think they'll be mid to bottom of the table. I probably can't quite see them playing finals unless Maxi and Stoinis get stuck in. But let's be honest, if Ralph is missing early on, then those boys are going to have to bowl, which means they could be handy for some all-rounder points. So, yeah, that may help their stocks. Although Maxi comes in pretty expensive at around 200K. So, yeah, it's a tough one to start, especially with no doubles in the first 2 rounds. But, yeah, certainly if you can stash Maxi or if you can justify fronting up the cash for the first 2 rounds, he's probably going to be really handy and not then need to find the cash going into round 3.
But the question is the ladder prediction.
Yeah, look, I said mid to bottom. I'm going to say 5th, somewhere between 5th and 8th. I can't see him top 4.
Very quick shout out. I've been putting up a few comments and questions from them. Big shout out to Davey London. G'day, mate. Thank you very much. It is on YouTube, Dave, because I know you like YouTube. Does this Rossco guy ever draw breath? He wants to know.
Shit.
Teddy Woods, he's just saying he hates soccer, so we better not talk about soccer anymore.
Thanks, Teddy.
Got to leave that one alone.
Kiwis have only got one decent player, mate, and he's not even in form at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be a very quiet World Cup for you Kiwis.
All right, so I might put up the if people can see it. Some people can, some people can't, depending on what you're viewing it on. But I'm going to put up the expected team for the Stars, because that's sort of what we're discussing really today, one of the major topics. Joe Clark, wicketkeeper, expected to open with Tom Rogers, the batter Tom Rogers, not the bowler. Harper, number 3, which is quite interesting. Maxwell, number 4. Stoinis, number 5, just about makes him irrelevant. Cartwright, was very irrelevant. Tom Curran, but I don't think he's expected to start. Is he? He's out at the moment.
I'm pretty sure he's okay. It's his brother that's not Sam.
Okay.
Pretty sure right. Tom. He wouldn't. Sam Honeyball wouldn't have him in his predicted 11 for round 1 if he wasn't playing.
Steckety, well, he's not playing, so he's out. So they're going to have to discover a bowler somewhere. Sweppo has made the move from Brisbane down to the Stars. Harris Ralph, who almost with this bowling lineup looks a must-have, even if it is for only one double, and then Peter Siddle rounding it out. So going right from the top, Joe Clark at a very attractive price of around about, what is he, 68,000. Wow. Rossco, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't mind him. I can't believe I'm saying this, but also at similar price, I don't mind Sam Harper either, to be honest with you. They can both keep. I don't know which one's going to keep. I know they've got down Joe Clark, but I personally feel Harper's probably a better keeper. But if I was going to dissect it down to those two, it depends on who keeps and probably go with one of them. Harper's a bit inconsistent, but he has been scoring well the last few games for the Bushrangers in both Shield and one-day cricket as well. So, yeah, I don't mind both. I don't mind them, Brad. I think Joe Clark's, he's one of those ones that you can rely on. He's played BBL before, so he knows the conditions over here. And when he gets going, he's certainly hard to stop, but I do really like him.
And Ted has come into this. He's got a question for you really here, Timmy. He says, just on Joe Clark, do you, Timmy, seriously think he is a start? The Spud won't even have the gloves.
Yeah, look, for me, if he's got the gloves, I think it's a pretty easy selection. The only thing now that if they've lost Steckety and they're going to lose Harris Ralph, you'd hope that they're going to bring in some more pace attack. If they're not bringing in more pace, then maybe does that negate the wicket keepers a little bit? I don't know. It's a bit of a tough call. I agree. I think it's a coin toss between Clark and Harper. Whichever one ends up with the gloves, I think will be the one that you want to keep.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That sounds probably about where I'm thinking too. But we're going to also talk about looping options as far as what wicketkeepers go, because it's a really murky area there. King Kyle has dropped a big hello. G'day, King Kyle. King Kyle, that sounds like a name for somebody in Big Brother or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's King Kyle? I've got no idea who that is.
Is this another London alias?
Oh, sounds like it. Is this looks like he's hung like a rabbit or something? I don't know. Trying to look at the picture.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could be Bilko doing a bloody dodgy.
Yeah. Logged into his son's account.
All right. So moving down the list, we sort of had a little bit of a talk there about Sam Harper or Joe Clark. Tom Rogers, he only has one player involvement, so I think I'm going to leave him alone given the depth you've got here. Glenn Maxwell, 200,000. Now, Timmy said he probably finds that a bit much to start. If you liked Maxwell, Ross, would you wait till he dropped a bit of cash, maybe pick him up in round 3?
Yeah, I'm definitely not starting him. I'm not starting any. Pretty much all my players that I've got in my team are all got doubles, at least in the first 2 or 3 rounds. I know the Stars do, but I can't start him. We don't know. He's coming back from injury too, and I just don't know how much he's going to bowl, to be honest with you, either. So I want to see his role first before I pull the trigger and decide to bring him in or not. I think for a lot cheaper, I'd rather have Stoinis stashed to start with, because you know what you're going to get at him. You know he's going to bat and he's going to bowl overs as well, whereas you just don't know with Maxi. I mean, if he's batting 4 and he's only bowling like one over, is he really a buy? That's the question, Brad.
I think just for pure potential, I think he's a player that you've got to have for the doubles. Unless he absolutely stinks up the first 2 rounds, like we all know the ceiling that he's got. He's one of the highest possible scoring players that we've got in the game, and like you said, it depends on whether he does throw the arm over or not and bowl a few overs. It's that's going to be interesting as the season progresses. But yeah, look, I think if he's got what's that? So he's got 4 games in the first 3 rounds, 6 games in the first 5. So yeah, look, I've a little bit off topic slightly, but I've currently got mental block Shorty up there for about the same price, and I've got him in my side at the moment. But yeah, look, considering they are only playing single game rounds until round 7, I could probably go Max instead and get an extra early game. So I don't know. It's a tough call.
Well, it makes sense to do that. I think you're better off starting Maxi over Short, but we know what Short's capable of as well.
That's the thing.
Kicker. They're both the same. They're both, yeah, look, yeah.
I do like your call, though, in Stoinis. Stoinis has been on my never again list for about 3 seasons, and every time he just bites me in the ass at some stage. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of a humble pie, maybe, and let's wait and see.
Yeah, Marty says Maxi seems to find catches as well,
Absolutely.
which he does. He gets a shitload of catches.
Yeah.
Could go either way. Now, the next one I want to talk about, we'll probably spend a little bit of time on this, Tom Curran. Now, in my mind, he actually has 3 player involvements, very similar to Mr. Maxwell. Number 1, he bowls. He's probably going to be, with that lineup and without Steckity, he's bowling 4 overs.
Yeah.
He's batting at number 7, which is real attractive. And number 3, he's an outfielder that is in a prime fielding position, probably gets more catches than the Joe Clark or a Sam Harper. 106,000, geez, I love that. That's my personal opinion. If he's starting, he's got a bargain.
It's a bargain of all bargains, especially with the news on Steck. I mean, you probably think he was going to bowl 4 overs anyway, but with Steckity not there, I mean, my God, 106K. I mean, I might be actually nearly tempted to start him. I've only got one star in my team at the moment to start, so I might even bring him in and start him. Yeah. Far out. Like, oh gosh, who have they got first game? They got the Hobart Hurricanes at the MCG. So at least he's bowling at a ground where they're not short boundaries like Hobart or anything like that, where he can potentially get tonked a bit more. But yeah, I really like it. I really do. So, yeah.
Well, what we sort of said at the beginning there, Ted's asked, I want Heat and Thunder stacking before any Star. Star have got 2 doubles in the first 5 rounds. Stashing a Star on your bench is not a bad idea.
Yeah, 100%.
Just one, possibly. Some brave people might go 2. But certainly, I don't think stashing 1, round 3 double, round 5 double. You're going to want to get as many of them. And we only get 2 trades a week. So it's just not enough time to sort of save these players up. So you might just have to stash a cheapie on a bench or something like that. And that's sort of what we're looking at.
And then you've got the option of trading out some Thunder players after their double to some Stars players as well. So, but I think you want to at least have one, like you said, Brad, maybe 2. You'd be maybe game to go 2, but definitely 1 at least. You want to be planning ahead, Ted. This is what we're saying with the whole strategy thing is that you want to have players in your team. You want to be planning ahead and having Hurricanes, Stars, Thunder, and Heat. You want a good balance of them to start the season.
And possibly 1 Star, which actually I'm warming more to the idea, particularly.
Even a Scorcher. You could even stash a Scorcher for round 4 too. Yeah. Like a cheap option like a Hardy or someone like that as well.
Yeah, look, I can absolutely see merit in keeping 1. Keep in mind the fact that the Sixers play the double in round 1 and then they have singles until round 5 where they have a bye. Yeah. So I think if you're starting with 4 or 5 Sixers, which is something we've talked about over the last few weeks since we've been kicking off, I think straight after round 1, you could probably dump 1 or 2 Sixers and aim for Stars then. So if you've got your team set up that you've already got your Heat and your Thunder players stashed away on your bench for round 2 doubles, then I think you can probably start looking at sixes straight away down to the Stars for round 2.
Now, Teddy, we'll quickly move on to the last 2 bowling options. One of them being Harris Ralph, expected to come in at number 10 in the batting lineup, but only available for the first 3 rounds. He will not be available for the second double game. Limits his appeal a bit, but Teddy, I know you are a Harris Ralph fan, just quietly. Just quietly. So if you want your Harris Ralph man, I'd be getting him round 1 because you might find it hard to get him if you don't jump on him. 153,000 though, folks, is expensive. And the other one is Peter Siddle, and I just can't have him. No. It burned me last year not having him, but I just can't do it. Could either of you two?
No.
The problem is he bowls in the right periods of the game, and he just always picks up wickets. It's he's just consistent. He bowls stump to stump, and the guy just takes wickets. So yeah, look, I don't know. Father Time's got to catch up with him eventually, but he's only bowling 4 overs, and then he can go and ice his arms or his legs or whatever he needs to do. So yeah, I don't know. It's I'd love to be getting paid the amount of money that he does for bowling 4 overs for 9 rounds of cricket. It'd be great.
Well, he doesn't have an expensive diet. He eats nothing but celery sticks and lettuce. So
isn't it bananas too? And the bananas.
Yeah, bananas. Yeah, he's a mad banana man. 113,000. So he's not cheap, Jim, either. So a big no for me.
I think if he was cheap, if it was on the cheaper side of it, you could potentially go there, especially with, as we said earlier, with Steckity being ruled out. Like, I don't know what their depth's going to be like with their bowling with him out. I don't know who. I don't know who. I have to have a look to see who else is in their squad, Brad. I don't know if you can pull it up or not, but if you can pull up their squad, and we can have a quick look at it. But if not, we can certainly talk about it another time.
Yeah, we can certainly have a brief look at it. Just bear with me.
But I agree with what you're saying before, guys. Like Tommy Rogers and Tom Curran, I think will absolutely pick up extra overs. It's and then I think it does open the door more for Maxi to get some and for Stoinis as well. So maybe they look more at a batter rather than a bowler. I don't really know, but I mean those guys can certainly throw the arm over, and they're certainly wicket taking guys as well. They're just not bowling it at 150 Ks. So it depends on what sort of player that they want to replace them with.
Yeah, so the players that they're going to be relying on, Ross, in answer to your question, beyond the ones that we've already spoken about, they're going to be relying on the likes of Liam Hatcher, Hamish McKenzie.
Hatcher's not too bad.
Yeah, Hatcher. Yeah. So these are the players that will come in. Either Hamish McKenzie, Liam Hatcher will get game time, and mate, that's it. There's 2.
Well, that's the only. Hamish McKenzie's a spin bowler, so it won't be him.
No.
Right, so it's probably going to be Hatcher, which I don't mind because he's actually been bowling okay. He's been doing a good job in the Shield and the one days for New South Wales as well. So he could possibly be one to have a look at as well.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So really, that's our stars.
And just quickly, Hatcher's only 58.5K, so he might be one of those players that you look at for the first 2 rounds and then bring him in for round 3 if he's doing well enough.
Yeah. No, I think that there's probably merit in Hatcher as well. I like either Ralph or Curran. Them are 2 favourites. So if you're going to go anyone, to me, it'll be either one. Now, we're going to have a quick discussion about there's been a lot of talk about how to loop, how not to loop, and strategy, etc. Now, the first looping option we'll look at is the wicketkeeper. So just bear with me because this might get a little bit, it won't get too complex, but what we're referring to here is having 3 wicketkeepers, right? So you have your 2 wicketkeepers up the top, and then you have a 3rd wicketkeeper in your batting option. But your 3rd wicketkeeper in the batting option needs to be a wicketkeeper that will not play. Very important. So what happens? Say up the top, the Sixers play the first game of the round 1. So you would put, say if you had Philippi, you'd put him on your bench and you'd put Ben McDermott on the field. Now, if Philippe went off his brain, you then would loop up your non-playing wicketkeeper up into the on-field position. So then you copped Philippe's score. Ben McDermott goes back down into your batting lineup. Happy days. You don't really lose out. So that's the first looping option and strategy we're looking at. Did that make sense, guys?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
How'd you go with that?
Absolutely.
Tim?
And unfortunately, this season, there is no wicketkeeper / batsman that is not going to play. But obviously, you've got guys like Jilks, who most likely won't get a run for the Thunder because you've got Sam Billings in there who's going to be the keeper. So he most likely probably won't get a game. So he could be potentially one that you look at as well. Otherwise, obviously, your other option is you just run with...
Jilks has been used as a bat only before as well, though, with the Thunder.
Yeah, they struggled when they did, though. I don't know. Looking at that Thunder team, it's pretty strong up in the batting. He certainly isn't anywhere close to their best 11. So if not playing and doesn't look like playing, then Jilks would be my favoured looping option. If anybody's got a thought with this one, do come into us with it. Just by the way, folks, our overall code, get into it. We've got some great prizes already named 594521, 594521. Championship rings, a big shout out to them. You get some bling on your finger by being the winner. And I think we've got another prize, something or other stashed there. So get into it. There's not too many free comps that offer up a prize or two. And we are one. So get into it.
So obviously the other option is with that wicket-keeping position too, Brad, is if you don't want to run the three keepers like what you just spoke about, is that you obviously have your keeper like a Philippe on the bench and have a McDermott or a Wade in your starting team. And if obviously Philippe goes really well, then you just get rid of one of those two players completely out of your team. But I just think with a double, two doubles in the first 3 rounds, you probably don't want to be trading them out. So I think you're better off going with the three keeper strategy for sure.
What you can do too, Ross, and this could be, you listen to this one, Timmy, and give me your thoughts, but what you can do is you can just have a Jilk sitting in there on the field and then Philippe playing, say, the first round. And then if he does go off, if he's good, you can keep Gilks there. But if he doesn't, you can then make the trade and bring in a McDermott at that point or a Joe Clark. Does that make sense? So because you can make trades on the run in this one, you're not locked out at the beginning of the round. You make trades as we're going. So particularly the first round, unlimited trades. So you're able to make that adjustment. But what you have to be is not like Tim and go run away for dinner or let his son have the phone, right? You've got to be on your ball, on your game, and be up to date with what's actually happening with those team announcements.
And let's be honest, boys, that's super important in this format. It's much the same with EPL at the moment. I'm sure the guy who's winning is getting no sleep because all the EPL games are on at 2 and 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning and whatever. But BBL is going to be much the same. You're super important that you're hanging out, waiting for team lists to come out, waiting on games to kick off, and then move things around from there.
All right, Marty's just told us the Stokes copped the ball to the nuts. Obviously, we're recording. They're not recording, but we're live. So I didn't see it. But,
sorry, not sorry.
That would be nothing funnier to me than seeing Stokes cop one in the nuts. Good on you. I hope it was Stark too.
Just that extra 5Ks.
I think it was Nessa that was bowled it actually, or might have been. But they're currently 6 for 221 with a lead of 44. Still no wickets. We need one soon, boys. Need one soon.
All right, now. Yep.
And this is about the time of the day where we want to start to take them because I think in another hour and a half's time, we might start getting a little bit damp and then it could be game over before we know it. So game over for the day, that is. So, we definitely need to be taking wickets in the next hour.
All right, Timmy, captain's loop. Do you want to describe? So this is the next loop. All right, so I've gone through the wicket-keeping sort of strategy. Now, a captain's looping option.
Yeah, look, I guess it's much the same as the other looping, especially if you've got, like we just discussed, the wicket keeping position, and then that's generally seems to be the best place if you can jag it to run your VC loop, because you've got somebody like Brad just said with Philippe, if he kicks off really strong and he's sitting on your bench, then he will come in for a non-playing reserve wicketkeeper starter. At which point that wicketkeeper starter ideally would be the person that you'd put your armband on, your captain's armband on. If you have a VC, let's say somebody with a high ceiling like Matty Short, if you have him in an early game and can play them as a VC, if he goes big, then instead of having the captaincy on Matt Short, you have the vice captaincy on him, and you can then move your captaincy from, say, a Maxi or somebody like that up to your non-playing reserve wicketkeeper who you started, so that you get Philippe's points as well as turning your VC into a double scoring captain. I hope that made sense.
It did make perfect sense for me. But I'm a looper tragic. I loop everything, and and this is I have loops set up all over it, so it's not going to be unlike me to have an all-rounder as a looping option. Ross, you want to go through the benefit of having an all-rounder that you can loop in for a batting or a bowling option as well. So you can have up to 3 looping options on the one field. It's crazy.
Well, kind of 4, really, because you can loop your captain as well as your players coming in and out. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yep. Correct, Amundo. So, obviously, everyone probably shouldn't. I know the Renegades are completely irrelevant this year for Supercoach. I think till right at the end when they have their double. One bloke that everyone should be looking to stash in their team is one Will Salzman at 39.5k. He's a bat bowl dual. So he's the perfect bloke that we speak about to stash on your bench. You can rotate him between your bat and your bowl. Stash him on the bench, bring him on, put him as your captain if your VC does well, and he becomes your captain and your VC scores doubles. He has been ruled out for the season with an injury, so he will not play whatsoever. So realistically, you want to have one like this. And then as the games go on after round 3, when the first lot of buys start, you can start using those guys on the buy as well to do the same thing with utilising that bench loop as well.
All right. I hope that all made sense to people. You have 3 basic clear opportunities to loop. As I said, I personally will have 2 looping options on my bench. I will have one wicketkeeper bat and I will have one all-rounder. That way I can not only utilise the captain's loop, but I can also utilise a bowling loop. Yeah. Because the second person on my bench in my bowling is going to be a pretty decent damn player. So it's not going to be a spud. So that I'm not going to get an IE emergency coming in if I am forced to enact the loop. The only tricky bit with the loop, folks, is you've got to ensure whoever is on your bench is playing in the first or second game of that round. Again, just got to be awake up to that. That one right, Ross? You've got to have the bench person has got to be playing early. Otherwise, the loop becomes irrelevant for you.
Yeah. I mean, the guys that you want to, that you got sitting on your bench that you want to bring on as your bench loops, you want to make sure the guys that are playing later in the round too, so you can utilise that as well. So, you've got basically got one wicketkeeper on the bench, you've got 2 batters and you've got 2 bowlers. I wouldn't want to have any more than 2 enough sitting on your bench, and the rest of them should be guys who are playing as well. So you're stashing your guys early, like your Aaron Hardys who are cheap. Even Beardman from the Scorchers as well that are cheap, to stashing those guys on the bench. They're single game players, but if they go well, then you can obviously bring them in and use them as a loop as well, especially in the early rounds. Like you said, unlimited trades for round 1.
Yeah, well, that's and I mean it's quite interesting. Justin, g'day Justin, by the way, really good super coacher, Justin Bloom, knows his stuff well and truly. Now, he's made the point that cash generation over looping is a fine line call. I've done a bit of maths here, though, Justin, and with only such a limited season, this is the shortest season we're going to see. I don't know how much cash generation we're going to get. We're going to get a bit, but it's not going to be as volatile as previous years. So I'm not 100%. Still very important. You got to look at it. That's what makes Tom Curran so important to look at. But do I want to cut off my nose? I really do need that looping option there still. Yeah, that's just me personally, and it served me very well in the past. So, but yes, I get what you're meaning, and I get what Ross means. But with such a short season, I'm not so convinced that cash generation is going to be a big factor in determining who takes out the gold prize this year. What do you think, Ross?
Yeah, it is a shortened season. I think it's the shortest we've had. So, I mean, obviously, cash generation is important, but I just think when you're comparing this as such a short season compared to NRL Supercoach, obviously NRL you want to cash generate as much as you can, get these these rookies in early and stash them away, sell them when you've made cash. But I don't see a lot of cash generation happening this season, like you said, Brad, especially with the shorter season as well.
Yeah,
probably just more benefits, maybe even more just benefit the guys who have got more doubles than others too, maybe as well.
The kicker with BBL too, though, is their prices change straight after round one. It's not like the NRL where they play for 3 rounds and then their prices change. So that is a little bit different. So the cash generation, look, I can see where Justin's coming from. That cash generation is pretty important early because cash does change hands straight away. Not like the NRL where you've got to wait 3 rounds.
Teddy's endorsing Justin's view on that one too. Look, you've got to make cash. That's what Supercoach is. One of its primary ethos of Supercoach is to make cash. I'm not saying that, but I don't think you can. I don't think you can ignore your looping options. Right?
Yeah, I think what he's suggesting is you don't want to have too many non-playing reserves. Like one would be your max, maybe. Look, I don't even know if you could say 2 because ideally you want to have one that's a bat bowl and then a wicket keeper, but that would be totally dependent probably if Philippe kicks it off in round 1. If he gets off the mark really quickly and scores well in the first game, what on earth is that?
Oh, my God. We just dropped the catch.
We just dropped the catch.
Well, did we?
What's up?
Yep, that Will Jacks is gone. Got one. Nessa gets Will Jacks. See you later.
Awesome.
Good catch by Steve Smith.
Awesome.
Sorry about that, but, you know.
It sounded like a horror movie. Someone was being eaten by a monster in the background. Look, as I was saying, it's we've just talked about before with your looping option that having a wicketkeeper batsman as a non-playing reserve is a handy option to have. But at the same time, having a bat bowl loop is obviously a really handy thing to have as well. I don't think you can go with 2, and I think that's probably the point that that our last listener was making. You probably can't have 2 because you need to be making cash at the same time.
Watch me.
You can have two NPRs. Yeah, right.
Well, it depends. It depends how Philippe goes round 1. Like
absolutely, that is the kicker. That's
so if Philippe in game 1, if he goes poorly, then I'll bring in McDermott and I'll ignore my looping option in the wicketkeeper bat for the moment because I've got more games and trades coming up, and then I'll just concentrate on ensuring I've got a looping option downstairs. So yes, I'm not saying it's set in stone. I still want to make money out of McDermott, and I would just bang or Joe Clark. One of those 2 would go straight in. McDermott probably with the double game. So, I most definitely would be dependent upon how those players go straight up.
Absolutely. Yep.
Another one would be, we don't not necessarily Sean Abbott, but a player like if you're going to run with Dwarshus or somebody, if they don't do very well in the first game, well, you wouldn't pull a loop option. But if they go off their brain, you'd bring in Salzman onto your field and have a loop straight up, rather than having to risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
And then obviously don't
just
forget
a quick question. And
obviously don't forget to select the reserves on the bench as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. So with the double
that's
games
the final
in
bit
round
to the
1,
looping. You've got to have the reserve set right. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
And this is the example that I'm going to give right now. So obviously we've got Sixers and Hurricanes have the double in round one. The fact that Sixers play first, so ideally I would put my Sixers on my bench as my bench looping option and have my Hurricanes on the field because they have their first game of their double later on. So in my
100%.
situation, in my situation, I need to currently move or possibly move Ben McDermott into my batting lineup instead of sitting on my bench, and put Jack Edwards on my in my reserve spot, and then the same down in my bowling stocks. I either need to move Dwarshuis or Abbott off the field and bring Chris Jordan onto the field.
And you're 100% right. Justin Bloom says, I'd rather have my bench set up for round two. Look, we spoke about this, I think, the other week, Justin, and I sort of agreed with you that I like the 4x4x4x4 strategy. And if I don't need any looping, that's what will be happening. But if I need a loop, that might well change. So, I only have 8 rounds to make it. So, it's a very volatile season, so I will pull that trigger if I have to. If I don't have to, then yes, the 4x4x4x4 strategy then will stick in place. And what I'm meaning by the 4x4 strategy, folks, is that if you have a look here, the 4x4 strategy is 4 Hurricanes, 4 Sixers, 4 Heat, and 4 Thunder. That gives you a really good balance of the 4x4 is an ideal team setup.
Do you think that I know you're saying that's the ideal setup, right? But wouldn't you be better off going a little bit harder on the Hurricanes and maybe than the Sixers, because given they've got 2 doubles in 3 rounds?
And this is the point that I was making with you boys when we did our first couple of pods, because you guys were all over the Sixers saying 5 Sixers, whereas I'm thinking more 5 Canes than 5 Sixers if you wanted to go that way.
Oh, yeah, hell no. I wasn't saying 5 Sixers. No way. 4 would be your max, because you've got to try to sell them off and get rid of them before that round 5 double. Which is
absolutely. Absolutely. That's the point I was making back then. That,
my point is, wouldn't you be better off going more Hurricanes than Sixers? You're saying 4, 4, 4, and 4, but wouldn't you be better off going more Canes and less Sixers?
Oh, look, you could. But, can you find 5 quality Hurricanes, or are you bastardising your team just for the sake of getting doubles?
Oh, look, I think there is. I've got 5 in my team at the moment. I've currently got Webster, David, McDermott, Owen, and Chris Jordan. I think you could quite easily have either Riley Meredith or Nathan Ellis in there. So, look, I think that there's plenty of points in the Hurricanes team, I think, in both batting and bowling stocks. So, yeah, look, the toughest one's going to be guys like Webster, whether or not he's still in and around the test squad or is he released to play all of the BBL games. And obviously Tim David going into the tournament, he's a bat only. Is there a chance he's going to throw his arm over and bowl a couple of overs as well, maybe take an early wicket? Look, that's a possibility also. So, look, I think, and I've had those 5 guys set up since day one when I first put my team together. So, Webster, David, McDermott, Owen, and Chris Jordan. And, I'm quite happy taking 5 for the kickoff.
All right. So, that's a bit about strategy. There's a bit to mull over, a bit to think.
There's plenty of strategy there.
Yeah, plenty of strategy. Now, we're going to do another podcast, one more before the kickoff. When are we doing it? Probably Saturday, maybe, Rossco?
I was thinking we do it Sunday, because the first game of the round starts next Sunday at 7:15. Scorchers play the Sixers. So I was thinking we could probably kick one off similar time, maybe about 5 or 5:30 again next week.
Yep.
We can have a bit of a quick chat then, and then obviously, depending on how we all go and how our schedules fit, we're going to try and obviously get one done before the start of each round as well, depending on who's available and whatnot. But that is the plan. And obviously, too, just keep an eye on your team on the page for the teams as well, because the final teams will all be posted up, teams and tosses. I'll post all them up before the start of every game as well. Once the squads come out as well, we'll get them posted up too. Just keep an eye out for the page, because everything will be posted there.
Yeah, Rossco's fantastic at that, folks. So make sure you do. He always puts the teams up. after or before a game, and often puts the scores up after a game, so that everybody has a really good idea of what's going on. Tim, where are people going to join our code? How are they going to join our overall group code?
Look, our overall code is 594521. That's 594521. So absolutely get on board with a Supercoach ring for our first prize overall winner, who takes it out. Yeah, so absolutely get on board. Special shout out to Supercoach rings. Those guys have got behind us with our BBL Central page, and they're our major sponsor at the moment. So on top of that, if anyone else is interested in helping us out and wants to get a bit of a plug out there on a weekly basis, we're always looking for sponsorship. So by all means, if you've got a small business or something, then we can help you out a little bit and give you a little bit of coverage. Contact us and we will absolutely see what we can do.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but we've even cut out our swearing because of the new Australian social media laws, and they're very... We're being very PG and very good. So we're trying to be very, very appealing to all people. So, yes, if you want to sponsor, get on board. Anything else there today, Rossco?
No, that's it. Just thank you, everyone, for tuning in. The usual crew, Ted, Dave, Justin, all the other guys. Thank you very much, Marty. I'm just looking forward. I can't believe it's only a week away. It seems like, it was weeks ago, not that long ago, and here we are. The first ball will be kicking off, pretty much a week from now and a little bit more. So just really looking forward to it. And go the Sixers in the WBBL. Hopefully they can take out the title and go the Aussies in the Ashes. Hopefully they can finish it off tonight. They need 3 more wickets.
Rossco, you want to check that out? Is it 3 trades around, is it?
It's 3 trades if you boost.
Yeah, I thought it was
week 3 if you boost.
Yeah, I always thought it was 2 trades and you can have a boost. But 5 or 6 boosts, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, no, it's always, Marty, it's always been 2 trades and 3 if you boost. So that's how it's always been. It's always only ever been 2 trades.
I was trying to look for it and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, scoring system. I'm just trying to see there where the trades are. But we'll have a look, and it's not unlike us to get something wrong. So if we have got that wrong, I do apologise.
We've been known to be wrong once or twice before. Just ask my lovely wife.
So here we go. Marty's copied it up from frequently asked questions. You'll then be able to trade up to 3 players after the conclusion of each round. You can make 1 trade at a time or make 2 or 3 at once. But that would be 3 with the boost, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say that's 3 with the boost, though, Marty. I think it's up to 3 because you can make 2 with a boost extra trade.
Not for if you boost, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We've got somebody else coming in letting us know. Avatar of Paper Magic. I love that name. That's cool as. Right, and they're saying it's 3 a week, fellas. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, right. There always have been 2 and then the boost on top. But if it's 3 every single week, so 4 possibly, that's good. All right. As I said, we're not.
Oh, there you go. I didn't it always only ever used to be 2, I thought.
Yeah,
or not?
Used to be 2. So it's obviously something that they've changed to try and keep that level playing field. You're going to have more trades in BBL over 9 rounds than what you're going to have in EPL with 38 rounds. It's going to make things very interesting. Yeah.
All right. Avatar of Paper Magic. I love your name there. I'm not sure who you are, but that's a crack.
That's hilarious.
All right, folks. Many thanks for tuning in. We've had a ball and a blast as usual. Next Sunday, just before the game kickoff, we will be chopping in. It'll be a fairly quick one. We'll get it all over and done with and give you the latest news possible. It's bye from me, Tim.
Stay safe, be good. Keep tracking along and keep watching our pages.
And Rossco?
Good night, everyone. Go the Sixers.
Good night, everybody. Go the Sixers in the women's BBL and let's go the Aussies.